Money. We all want it, we all need it, and most of us spend our entire lives trying to earn more of it. But here's a little secret the wealthy know that the rest of the world often ignores. The truly rich don't just spend their money, they borrow it. Sounds crazy, right? If you have millions sitting in your bank account, why would you take on debt? Wouldn't it make more sense to just pay for things outright? Well, today, I'm going to show you why the wealthiest people in the world do the exact opposite of what you might expect, and how this simple financial strategy keeps them getting richer while the rest of us struggle to keep up. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at money the same way again. Let's start with a simple question. What do rich people actually do with their money? You might picture billionaires sitting on mountains of cash, spending recklessly on private islands and designer clothes. But the truth is, the ultra-rich rarely spend their own money on big purchases. Instead, they borrow strategically. Now, before we dive into how they do it, let's break down something important. The difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is what most people are familiar with: credit card debt, personal loans, car payments, high-interest loans that trap you in a cycle of repayments. This kind of debt drains your wealth. But good debt? That's an entirely different game. It's debt that allows you to invest, build wealth, and avoid unnecessary taxes. The rich understand this game better than anyone, and they play it to perfection. Imagine you're a billionaire. You have $100 million in assets, but instead of using that cash to buy things outright, you use it as leverage. Here's how it works. Let's say you want to buy a $10 million luxury property. Most people would either pay in cash or take out a traditional mortgage. But if you're wealthy, you have a better option. Instead of selling off stocks, real estate, or other investments to raise money for the purchase triggering massive taxes in the process, you simply take out a low-interest loan using your assets as collateral. Now think about this. If your investments are making you, say, 8% per year, and the loan only costs you 3% in interest, you're making a 5% profit just by keeping your money invested. You still own your assets. They continue to appreciate in value, and you get to use borrowed money at a ridiculously cheap rate. It's like playing chess while the rest of the world is stuck playing checkers. This is exactly how the biggest names in business operate. Take Elon Musk, for example. Did you know that instead of selling Tesla stock to fund his lifestyle, he borrows against his shares? By taking out loans against his Tesla stock, Musk avoids selling and triggering huge capital gains taxes. This means he gets access to cash when he needs it without ever having to part with his assets. And it's not just Musk. Billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, and Mark Zuckerberg all use variations of this strategy. They don't cash out, they borrow. Why? Because borrowing money against appreciating assets is like having an infinite money glitch in real life. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the biggest advantage of all: tax avoidance. If a billionaire sells their stock, they pay capital gains tax, which can be up to 20% or more depending on the country. But if they take out a loan, that's not considered income, which means no taxes. Think about that for a second. The rich don't need salaries. They don't need to earn money in the way that most people do. Instead, they borrow against their wealth and legally avoid income taxes altogether. Meanwhile, the average person works 9 to 5, gets taxed heavily on their paycheck, and spends what's left. The system is designed to favor those who understand how to use debt as a tool. And the best part? When the billionaire eventually dies, their heirs can inherit their assets tax-free thanks to a loophole called step-up in basis. The wealth transfers to the next generation without ever being taxed at the full rate. This is why the rich get richer, and the poor stay trapped in a cycle of working for money instead of making money work for them. Now you might be wondering, that's great for billionaires, but how can I use this strategy? Here's how you can apply the same principles on a smaller scale. 1. Invest instead of save. Instead of keeping all your money in a bank earning 0.5% interest, put it in assets that grow stocks, real estate, or even your own business. 2. Use good debt wisely. If you own a home or rental property, you can borrow against it at low interest rates to invest in other opportunities, just like the rich do. 3. Avoid bad debt. Credit cards, payday loans, and high-interest debt are traps. Only use leverage for things that will make you money in the long run. 4. Think like an investor, not a consumer. Instead of spending money on liabilities, focus on building assets. The wealthy don't buy things that lose value, they buy things that make them richer. The difference between the rich and the poor isn't just money, it's mindset. The rich understand that wealth isn't about how much cash you have, but how well you use other people's money to grow your fortune. Now that you know this secret, the question is, what are you going to do with it? Will you keep working for money? Or will you start making money work for you? The choice is yours.